What's up, people? I'm Joseph Edward Renee here. I just had a conversation with a friend, and I thought it necessary to record the information, lest it be lost. We're talking about the Ron Burgandy Podcast, actually, with Deepak Chopra. And this, don't worry about this, that's just medicine. We'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it. So, Ron Burgandy Podcast, Will Ferrell portrays quite a satirical representation of modern man, removed from spiritual thought and critical thinking thereof, incapable of enlightenment himself, but has the number of the guy, Deepak Chopra, who can take him there if he so chooses to do so. The episode is very deep, even though it's very comical. Deepak Chopra leads a meditation, and I like where he goes with it, but then Deepak goes and says that the New Age understanding that humanity is a failed experiment, and that's what he believes. Deep. Only if your definition of humanity is limited. Humanity is much more. Anyway, so we were talking about meditation, my friend and I, after talking about this episode. And I was saying that I've always been doing a type of meditation similar to certain traditional methods, but different because of my understanding of it. I've always done it. Don't always make a special time or a place to do so, but I always try to stay in higher mindsets. That unified consciousness outside of the individual construct. It's what I used to call, like a decade ago, I would say that I am the feigning Joe, and I must continue to feign that I am Joe until the world can be ready for the raging beast that dwells within. You know, the old David Banner routine, but it's true. The Hulk is another, explanation of that power that dwells inside of everyone that we're all struggling to understand and to figure out. The Law of Attraction episode that I have on my podcast, which is it's in my book, The Apple of Perception. The Law of Attraction concept that I talked about, my understanding of it, is how I kind of meditate. Outside of my breathing exercises, which I've taken the Wim Hof method of oxidizing the bloodstream very quickly, and you can get, with the Wim Hof method, you can get like in 10 minutes what you can do with pranayama in 2 hours. So, I highly recommend that. But, the understanding of it, spiritual mindset of it is the more important part, which most people require the meditative thought processes to get them there. But if you're there, it's faster with Wim Hof method. So I try to stay in that awareness that every thought and deed I emanate will manifest. And I've always been aware of the two types of thought, the kind we conceive and the kind we encounter. Two types of thought. Again, the kind we conceive and the kind we encounter. Observing without conceiving your own thought is how we listen and can improve our psychic powers. It's how I access the Akashic records, affirm my own assumptions, which were assumptions brought to me, thought that I did not conceive, but that came to me through meditation. That's where most of my knowledge comes from. Only very, very little of it is my own assumptions. My meditation, since that's the accepted term for it, that's how I do it. Thought is frequency. That has no limits. You can sit on your toilet and you can have a conversation with Krishna, as Krishna was alive thousands of years ago. Yes, he was alive. He was an avatar. It can even be called hallucinating or personality disorder. But the reality of the physical brain is that it is not limited by the information in the individual brain. It is an antenna, the physical brain, that has access to the cosmos. So to hallucinate and to commune with entities are one in the same. The quality or connotation that we give to it is a choice that we make in our own polarized viewpoint. Good or bad, it exists for that polarization. Now, my friend, he was commenting that my methods aren't in line with traditional meditation or observation of the conscious thoughts that arise when you empty your thoughts. And I commented again, because traditional teachings are a method where the divine is recognized as separate from the self. The cosmos is separate from the self, and you're emptying your head, which is something that Catholics have been against, because they said that that's the devil. You're letting the devil's thoughts into your brain, and that's not wrong. I mean, the concept of the devil is the other, the antagonist, so it's a consciousness that is outside of yourself. But that's the point that I'm trying to say, that traditional meditation requires the ego or self construct to shut itself off and be filled with the divine blueprint. And recognizing in that way, from certain points of view, you could see that as a good or bad thing. Little do the masses who practice these meditations realize the truth that their bodies, their physical bodies, where their ego self resides, their self-construct of the individual, that is a temple where they must prepare themselves for the whole consciousness of the divinity of the cosmos to be filled within their physical body. The flame is always in the individual. There's always that spark, but that spark should be stoked and allowed to burn within, instead of just observing the flame elsewhere. That occurs in initiation of mystic rituals. The mystic, what do they call it? The ancient mystery schools. Hermeticism, Pythagorean, Solomon's temples, Freemasonry is one of them. And the Zohars, the mystic Judaisms, and the Shivites as well, and Hinduism. And as the age-old, when the pupil is ready, the master will appear. The initiation of this truth occurs without public knowledge. It's not publicized, because knowledge of it takes away free will. If you just tell everybody directly that as above, so below, from Aquarius to Capricorn, divinity is always within. No matter where you sit in the tree of life, you center yourself in that piece of divinity that you understand. You're never apart from it. The guru awaits, and he is not as he is, and just as you are not as much as you are. That's what I attempted to say in the Law of Attraction podcast and chapter of my book. That's what I attempted to get across when I quoted the gospel passages. What you bind on earth is bound in heaven. What you loose on earth is loosed in heaven, or vice versa. I can't remember the exact wording. It's as above, so below. That's the understanding. That's my takeaway. Divinity is within. Alignment of the self with the divine is the meditation. You're not destroying the ego individual construct. You're aligning it. You're perfecting it. Destroying it is self-denial, and that's a path that's, to me, it's idiotic. You can stop your old ways. You can stop your imbalanced behavior. Not to say your bad behavior, your imbalanced behavior. You can change who you are to a more enlightened self, one higher on the tree of life, towards the Messiah, towards the crown chakra. Balance those chakras, make them act as one. All those understandings and points of view, lay not your passions to one side of mercy or strength, but sit in the middle. can go on forever about this kind of stuff. So that's an introduction for anyone today who's listening. Divinity is within. Your access to God, your access to the cosmos is within. There are two types of thought. If you're going to meditate, you should be highly aware of these teachings, that you conceive thoughts, and you can shut off those conceived thoughts and just listen. You're going to listen and you're going to hear. You send in a petition and you pray what you want to hear, and the answers come back way faster. Be specific. There's unlimited knowledge out there for you to receive just from meditating. I said go out and do it with an open mind. Alright. Peace. It's the first of many to come. I'm Joseph Vinay, and this is Apple of Perception. Remember, you can support this program by purchasing a copy of Apple of Perception by J.E. Vinay. That's V-E-N-N-E. It is available on Kindle and paperback through Amazon. Until next time, I am Joseph Edward Vinay. Take it easy and be excellent to each other.